Many years ago at the exhibition, it was 3 shots for a quarter to knock down the bowling pins with a softball. Well, for the Saskatoon Berries today, it's their 3rd shot at breaking the record for single-season victories in the Western Canadian Baseball League, and they'll try to do it against the team right behind them in the standings in the East Division in the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Good afternoon, I'm Les Lazaruk. Welcome to Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, second last day of the 2025 regular season. That's the Berries and the Mavericks. Some might have thought this would have been a big deal for this weekend, might have had something on the line, but the Berries come into today with a 10-game lead atop the East Division over the Mavericks. Saskatoon with a record of 44 wins and 9 losses, but they've lost back-to-back games for the first time this season. A loss on Friday in Regina and a setback last night to the Red Sox here at Next Gen Patch. And the Berries are 8-2 in their last 10 games, 23-3 here at home, and they have a 4-1 record against Medicine Hat in the season series. They're supposed to have 3 games left, but they'll only play 2 today and tomorrow, as the one game from back in June in Medicine Hat was rained out and then rained out again on July 14th when they tried to play it again in Medicine Hat. The Mavericks, with a record of 34 wins and 19 losses, second in the East Division. They've lost their last 2 games in Weyburn. They are 8-2 in their last 10, though, 14-12 on the road, and again 1-4 against the Saskatoon Berries head-to-head this season. Again, Berries and Mavericks. Saskatoon will play Moose Jaw in the first round of the playoffs, and it'll be Medicine Hat taking on Regina in an East Division semifinal series, a best-of-3, which will start on Wednesday. As we stop now, and we'll get ready for our national anthem. The umpires for this afternoon's game, behind the plate is Matt Schul. At first base is the crew chief, Phil McGee. And at third base is Logan Nugent. Saskatoon Berries are in the defensively. Starting in the outfield from right to left. In right field is Ethan Murdoch. Carter Beck's in center field. Evan Janners in left field today. Around the infield from left to right, Mason Rell's the third baseman. Nathan Houston's at shortstop. Cooper Westland's the second baseman. And Corey Waters is at first base. Balin Sorensen is the catcher, and the starting pitcher today is Clavert Martina. Clavert Martina out of Curacao, coming on to start today. This will be his 18th appearance of the season and his second start. He has a 1-0 record, 2 saves, a 2.60 earned run average. Martina has pitched 27 2/3 innings this season, allowed 28 hits, 8 runs, all earned, struck out 24, and walked 7. He is a 3-year veteran of the WCBL, having previously played with Regina and also last season in Swift Current. Martina features a big fastball, which will come in at 94 miles an hour. He'll face a Medicine Hat lineup to start with Aaron Volcano, the first baseman, Yusei Yuzawa, the right fielder, and Tyler Van Nest, the designated hitter. As Martina finishes up his warm-up tosses. And as we hit 1 o'clock, we welcome aboard our FloCollege webcast. The audio being picked up by 600 AM CJWW in Saskatoon for this afternoon. So welcome to all listeners of the radio and welcome to all viewers on the webcast today. Clavert Martina is finishing his warm-up tosses, and we'll get this one underway on a heater of a day here in Saskatoon at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Mostly cloudy, they call the skies. Those clouds, there are a few of them, but they're pretty high, and the sun is beating on through here today without a problem. They haven't updated the local conditions as of yet, but at noon it was 25 degrees Celsius. And the winds out of the east at 27, gusting to 42 kilometers an hour. They're waving pretty violently, those flags, above the right field scoreboard and in towards home plate. So you're going to have to hit it pretty well in order to get it out of the ballpark today on this gusty day. But it is hot. And up to bat first, wearing number 13 for Medicine Hat, is Aaron Volcano, one of 3 Volcano brothers on this team. Clavert Martina ready to go. First pitch is on the ground and will get through. Well, no. Nathan Houston dives, comes up with the ball and throws him out. That looked like he was going to get through. Houston was in the hole at shortstop, and he ranges to his left, dives, comes up with the ball, gets up and throws out Aaron Volcano by a step at first base. And that first pitch at 1:01 here on Sunday afternoon. So put a gold star beside that play. Right off the bat, first pitch, and a tremendous defensive effort by Nathan Houston at shortstop. Brings up Yusei Yuzawa, the right fielder. Left-handed hitter. Takes a strike at the knees from Matt Schul. Yuzawa hitting .301, 40 hits in 133 at-bats this season. No home runs, 27 runs batted in. Clavert Martina's delivery. Yuzawa, line drive into center field. Carter Beck will come over to his left and cut it off in right center, and he'll hold Yuzawa to a single. So Medicine Hat has their first base runner of the day, just 2 batters in. Yuzawa is a threat to steal, 22 stolen bases in 26 attempts. Up comes Tyler Van Ness now. Left-handed hitting designated hitter, normally plays in the infield, third base or first base. Martina's first pitch, Van Nest hits it in the air, straightaway center field. Beck going back, it's over his head, and he'll get all the way to the fence. They're waving Yuzawa around. Here comes the throw from center field. Westland to the plate for Sorensen, can't come up with it. And in to score is Yuzawa as the play is backed up by the pitcher, Clavert Martina. So Van Nest with a ringing double off the center field fence on a couple of hops. Yuzawa scores all the way from first base, and Medicine Hat, who didn't get here until just before noon after having played last night in Weyburn, didn't have batting practice, but they're off to a good start with a single and a double and a run scored. Now Carter Roth, who's hitting .364, top average on the Medicine Hat Mavericks, batting in the cleanup spot. First pitch from Martina, down low, ball 1. Roth with 78 hits and 214 at-bats. 5 home runs and 53 runs batted in. Quick start to the ball game for the Mavericks. Yuzawa, or make that Van Nest at second. Martina's pitch inside to Roth, 2-0. Van Nest and Roth would be among the league leaders in several categories. We'll get to those. Van Nest wouldn't even let me get into any of that stuff with him. He first pitch swinging. Martina, that's up high, 3-0. Falls behind Carter Roth. Adam Vulcano, the center fielder, is on deck. The other brother, Johnny, is not in the lineup today for Medicine Hat. He's normally a shortstop. Martinez 3-0 pitch is inside and a 4-pitch walk. So runners on first and second, 1 away and 1 run in for Medicine Hat here in the top of the first inning. It'll bring up Adam Vulcano, the center fielder. .225 he's hitting on the year. 31 hits and 138 at-bats. 4 home runs, 21 RBI. Adam Vulcano in his second season with the Mavs. Martina out of the stretch. Checks the runners at second. And the first pitch is inside, ball 1. Shortstop Blake Dale is on deck. Mavericks lost their last 2 games in Weyburn, lost 14-7 in Weyburn last night. They have playing spoiler in mind when it comes to the Berries wanting to break that WCBL record for wins in a season. They're tied with Sylvan Lake as Martina down low with a fastball, and catcher Balin Sorensen will come out and have a little discussion with Clavert Martina. Try to get him back finding the strike zone. Last 6 pitches have been balls after giving up a single and a double on consecutive pitches that turned into the first run of the ball game for the visiting Mavericks. Martina just finished off his senior year at Eastern New Mexico. He's ready to go here with the 2-0 pitch. Now a turn and fire on the pickoff attempt as Cooper Westland, the second baseman, coming to the bag, and Van Nest able to dive back in safely. Martina taking his sign from Sorensen. Adam Vulcano waits the 2-0 pitch. Up high, 3-0. Clavert is 6'2" and 200 pounds. He's a big man with a big arm. Throws that fastball, but will mix in a curve. We'll see if Adam Vulcano 3-0 has the green light to swing away. He does not, and he takes a strike, 3-1. Fans here at Next Gen Patch still filing in, those that are already in their seats. Appreciative of the strike being thrown. Hoping there's more. 3-1 pitch upcoming from Martina. Hit on the ground towards second. Westland to short. Back to first in time. 4-6-3 double play badly needed by the Berries here in the bottom of the first inning, and they turn it. For Medicine Hat in the top of the first, they score a run on 2 hits. There were no Berries errors and 1 runner left on base. After a half an inning, it's Medicine Hat 1 and the Saskatoon Berries coming to bat. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW. And you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Bottom of the first inning coming up here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. And the Saskatoon Berries will face Tyler Spruiell, S-P-R-U-I-E-L-L. Spruiell is the starting pitcher for the Medicine Hat Mavericks, left-hander. As he'll face the top of the Berries order here this afternoon, Carter Beck, along with Corey Waters and Abiam Medina, who's in the lineup today after not being in last night against Regina. Left-handed hitting Beck against left-handed pitching Spruiell. First pitch is down low and pops away from the catcher Nate King for a ball. Beck hitting .376, 62 hits and 165 at-bats. 9 home runs and 41 runs batted in. First line drive right field, but right at the right fielder, Yusei Yuzawa, positioned perfectly. Didn't have to move hardly in order to make the catch. So one away, and to bring up the first baseman Corey Waters. Saskatoon product hitting .362, 63 hits and 174 at-bats. 12 home runs and 144 runs batted in. Lefty's off-speed breaking ball is in for a strike. Spruiell is making his 10th start of the season. Waters lifts a fly ball into center. Dropping back a few steps and ready to make the catch is Adam Volcano in center field, and there's 2 away. They'll bring up Abiam Medina, the designated hitter today for the Berries. Hitting .357, 60 hits and 168 at-bats. 3 home runs and 39 RBIs for the Ponce, Puerto Rico product. Spruiell has a record of no wins and 2 losses, an earned run average of 7.58. He's pitched 29 2/3 innings in his 10 appearances, 9 starts. Allowed 26 hits, 28 runs, 25 of them earned, struck out 35 and walked 34. So he's better than a strikeout per inning and better than a walk per inning. Medina with a little flare into center field, but coming on and making the catch in medium depth center field is Adam Volcano, and that's a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning for the Saskatoon Berries. No runs, no hits, no Medicine Hat errors, nobody left on base. After a full inning of play, it is Medicine Hat 1, Saskatoon no score. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Top of the second inning about to get going here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Nicely underway. Clavert Martina finishing up his warm-up tosses. We've got the updated conditions here. It's mostly cloudy, 27 degrees Celsius now. And with the Humidex, with a 47% humidity, it feels like 31. East wind 31 kilometers an hour cuts that a bit, but not too terribly much. As Martina will face the shortstop Blake Dale to lead off the second inning, and a hard slider goes outside, ball 1. Dale hitting .252. 30 hits and 119 at-bats for the right-handed hitter. Couple of home runs and 16 RBIs. That fastball is in for a strike, 1-1. Dale is from Riverton, Wyoming. 1-1 pitch fouled off at the plate, 1-2 the count. Coming off his junior year at Kansas Wesleyan University. No Evan Morrison in the game today. And also not in the lineup for Medicine Hat is there's a called strike 3 at the knees. Martina with his first strikeout of the afternoon. Jeremy Freeman Jr. is also not in the lineup. Normally the center fielder for Medicine Hat. So head coach Jonathan Thornhill is resting a couple of his normal starters. On the other side, the Berries, for a second straight game, not playing Ethan Menard. I expect we'll see him tomorrow in the lineup. As Martina, first pitch, line drive right at Nathan Houston off the bat of second baseman Jaden Babiak for the second out. That'll bring up the catcher, Nate King. King hitting .272, 22 hits and 81 at-bats. King, a late arrival to the team, playing in just his 29th game, and this being game number 54 of the season for Medicine Hat. Right-handed hitter. And a high strike is called, benefiting Clavert Martina. Nate King from Lindsay, Ontario, coming off his sophomore year at Kankakee Community College. In for strike 2. King has a couple of home runs and 20 RBI, including a home run against the Berries in this ballpark earlier this year. Martina's 2-strike pitch is up high, 1-2. Took something off of that. Micah Dvorak, the left fielder, is on deck. Clavert Martina ready to go. 1-2 count with 2 away here in the top of the second inning. Is on the ground, right back to him. Flips it from glove into his bare hand and then ambles over a couple of steps and underhand flip to the first baseman for a 1-2-3 top of the second inning. No runs, no hits. No Berries errors, nobody left on base after an inning and a half. It is Medicine Hat 1, Saskatoon no score. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege, and you're listening to Saskatoon Berries baseball on CJWW. Tyler Spruiel is the starting pitcher today for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. His last outing was on July 29th, earlier this week, in Swift Current. Medicine Hat won 8-6 over the 57s. He pitched 2 innings, allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned, struck out 2 and walked 2. Spruiel has also pitched against Saskatoon this year. back here on June 11th at Next Gen Patch. No decision in a 5-4 Berries win. He pitched 3 innings without allowing a hit or a run, but struck out 4 and walked 2. He'll face Ethan Murdoch to lead off the bottom of the second inning and throws a breaking pitch for a strike. I'd make that Mason Rell at the plate. Murdoch is the third man due up this inning. 24, not 34 on the back of the baby blue jersey. That one's inside, ball 1, 1-1. Rell hitting .341, 56 hits and 164 at-bats. 3 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Spruiel's pitch is fouled off. He threw another one of those slow-moving curveball changeup type pitches. And Rell is behind 1-2. Defensively for Medicine Hat in the outfield, in right field is Yusei Yuzawa. Adam Volcano's in center. The left fielder is Micah Dvorak. Spruiel ready to deliver 1-2 to Rell. Up and away, ball 2, 2-2. In the infield from left to right at third base is Carter Roth. Shortstop Blake Dale. Second baseman Jaden Babiak. First baseman Aaron Volcano. Catcher is Nate King. As that one is outside, ball 3. Full count. On Mason Rell. Nathan Houston, the shortstop, on deck. Rell swings at a 3-2 pitch down and in and fouls it down the first base line, and one hops into the crowd. That's gathered along the fence. Standing room only crowd here again today. Spruiel's pitch. Slow curveball. One hopper. Speared at second base by Jaden Babiak, and an easy flip to first for the first out. Rell making good contact, but right at Babiak, who was able to, thought about trying to come in and take the ball on the fly at the shoe tops, but then realized he didn't have a chance and took the short hop. So now Nathan Houston, the shortstop, hitting .313, Melville, Saskatchewan product. 62 hits and 198 at-bats. Shows bunt, and it bounces in, ball 1. That hit the umpire. Matt Schul going to take a walk and whisk off the plate. Meanwhile, he'll get a little bit more of a chance to rest as the catcher Nate King does him a solid and heads out to the mound to talk quickly with his pitcher Tyler Spruiel. Spruiel's from Lubbock, Texas. 6'3" lefty coming off his freshman year at Western Texas College. Fastball up and away. Ball 2, 2-0 on Houston. These teams finishing off the regular season. They'll play again here tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Breaking pitch in for a strike. That slow curve. 2-1. That Spruiel wants to utilize part of his repertoire today against the Berries. 2-1 pitch. Hit high in the air. Well hit again, but with the wind blowing in, this one will be caught in medium depth center field by Adam Volcano. 4 fly balls out of 5 outs so far for the Berries. Need to hit more of a line drive like Rell did and have it find grass. The Medicine Hat outfielders cover the ground. Ethan Murdoch up to the bat. .326 average for him. That slow curve is up high, ball 1. 62 hits and 190 at-bats for the Swift Current product. 9 home runs and 51 RBI. This one on the ground, a diving play at third, nicely done by Carter Roth, and a good throw over to first in time to get Murdoch, and another 1-2-3 inning for the Saskatoon Berries. No runs, no hits, no Medicine Hat errors, nobody left on base. After 2, it is Medicine Hat 1, Saskatoon no score. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries baseball on CJWW And you're watching Barrie's baseball on FloCollege. Mm. Well, so just leave it. I know. Top of the third inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Medicine Hat Mavericks up 1-0. Number 9 hitter Micah Dvorak to face Clevert Martina, the starting pitcher for the Saskatoon Berries this afternoon. First pitch, Micah Dvorak fouls it off. This will end up over top of the party patio down the left field line. Stays inside the ballpark, strike one. Dvorak hitting .256. 41 hits and 160 at-bats. He has 5 home runs and 29 RBI. Dvorak from Garden City, Kansas. Fouls that pitch back to the backstop. It actually didn't hit the screen. It hit one of the poles that holds up the screen. Made an interesting noise. Gong. Thought maybe it was time for a Japanese meal or something like that. 2 strikes. Off-speed pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Couple of strikeouts for Clevert Martina as he gets Dvorak. Bring up the top of the order for Medicine Hat, Aaron Volcano, who first pitch swinging back at 101. Hit a ground ball that Nathan Houston made a spectacular play on, diving to his left and behind second base and threw him out. Volcano thought he was going to be on a 5-game hitting streak. Still stuck at 4, 5 for his last 18 in 4 games plus. First pitch swinging again. This one is slicing out of play, foul down the right field side, strike 1. Volcano has 4 RBIs in the 4 games that he has played of recent. Medicine had a good hitting ball team, 4th best average in the league at .298. They hit for some power, 5th in home runs with 48 as Martina's off-speed pitch changeup is up high and inside, 1-1. They also steal some bases, have 74 steals for 8th spot in the league. Slider down low and away, 2-1. And with the on-base percentage plus slugging percentage, .837 for Medicine Hat coming into today. 3rd best in the WCBL. 2-1 the pick count on Adam Volcano. Martina delivers, fouled off at the plate. It'll dribble up towards the third base coaching box. 2-2 the count. Yusei Yazawa is on deck. The Medicine Hat right fielder. Aaron Volcano in the right-hand batter's box against right-handed pitching Clevert Martina. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the changeup, which was up high in the zone. Couple of strikeouts in the inning already for Martina. He'll face Yusei Yuzawa, who singled and came around on Tyler Van Ness's double to score in the first inning. Oh, we have a pinch hitter. Aha. Yuzawa out of the ball game. So Jamel Shabbat coming into the ball game. Interesting that Yuzawa coming out of the ball game. First pitch to Shabbat is inside, ball one. Jamel Shabbat is from Cheney, Washington, coming off his sophomore year at Valley City State. He's a teammate of second baseman Jaden Babiak with Medicine Hat. That fastball in for a strike, 1-1. Shabbat hitting .292 and playing in just his 23rd game of the season now. 19 hits and 65 at-bats. No home runs, 10 RBI. Yuzawa is a left-handed hitter. Shabbat's a right-handed hitter, taking over. Change up. Outside, 2-1. Martina getting ready to deliver the 2-1 pitch. Tyler Van Ness is on deck. Two-one pitch. Swung on. High chopper back to Martina. He'll throw it over to first base. He almost took too long getting that slow overhand throw over to the bag, but it got there just in the nick of time against the hard-running Shabbat. And it's a 1-2-3 top of the third inning. No runs, no hits. No Barry's errors and nobody left on base. We're after 2.5 innings. It is Medicine Hat 1, Saskatoon no scorers. You're listening to Saskatoon Barry's Baseball on CJWW. And you're watching Barry's Baseball on FloCollege. What are we looking for here? Back for the bottom of the third inning. It'd be a defensive change here for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Looks like Jamel Shabbat is staying in the ball game to catch in place of Nate King. And I'm not sure who's out in right field in place of Yuzawa. We've got Aaron Volcano is in right field now, I believe. Well, Balin Sorensen's coming to the plate to face Tyrell Spruiel. There's a lot of changes here for Medicine Hat defensively, and we'll try and come up with them as the game moves along. Sorensen, first pitch is that slow breaking pitch in there for a strike. One strike on Sorensen. A fastball in there for strike two. Balin Sorensen hitting .285. 45 hits in 158 at-bats. 7 home runs, 33 runs batted in for the Monroe, Louisiana product. 2-strike pitch is a slow breaking ball outside, Ball one, 1-2. Spruill gets his sign from Jamel Shabbat. Popped up in the air by Sorensen. Second baseman taking charge, Jaden Babiak. He'll make the catch. And there's one away. Brings up Cooper Westland, the second baseman. Berries have yet to get a base runner, let alone a hit so far here as we're into the bottom of the third inning. First pitch to Westland is a fastball in there for a strike. Cooper Westland hitting .336. 44 hits in 131 at-bats. One home run for the Lincoln, Nebraska product with 14 RBI. There's that slow curve. Ball hit on the ground to second. Babiak fields on to first in time. 2 away. And now Evan Janner, the left fielder, coming up for the Berries, as he is the last of the 9 men in the batting order for Saskatoon to bat against Spruill here through 3 innings. Back to the top of the order if Janner can find his way on base for Carter Beck. Beck put a charge into a pitch his first time up, but right at the right fielder, Yazawa. Janner swings at the curveball, tried not to, tried to held up, but couldn't. Strike one. Tyler Spruill with another breaking ball up high this time, 1-1 the count. Spruill is being very efficient so far. This will only be his 27th pitch unofficially. Fastball on the inside corner, 1-2. One nothing Medicine Hat leads here in the bottom of the third inning. 1-2 pitch, check swing, down low, ball 2, 2-2. The only offense so far in this game happened in the top of the first inning. Otherwise, both Tyler Spruill and Clavert Martina have shut things down. Breaking ball up in the strike zone, called strike 3. First strikeout of the afternoon for Tyler Spruill. And the Berries go out 1-2-3 again in the bottom of the third inning. No runs, no hits, no errors for Medicine Hat. Nobody left on base. After 3 complete, it's Medicine Hat 1, Saskatoon no score. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Yes, please. Yep. Yep. Okay. Your unofficial line score as we head into the top of the fourth inning for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. 1 run on 2 hits. They've not committed an error. They've left 1 runner on base. For the Berries, no runs, no hits. They've not committed an error. They haven't left anybody on base. 9 up, 9 down for the Berries so far through 3 innings. Top of the fourth, it'll be the meat of the Mavericks order. Starting off with the guy who drove in the only run so far in the game, DH Tyler Van Est. First pitch from Clavert Martina is down and in, ball 1. Van Nest from Warman, coming off his senior year at Cal State San Bernardino, playing in his third season in the WCBL, all with Medicine Hat. Left-handed hitter. Martinez pitch, driven into right field, right at Evan Janner, the right fielder, who makes the catch, and there's one away. Martinez settled down. He's retired 8 in a row. Third baseman Carter Roth coming to plate. Roth walked on 4 pitches against Martina back in the first inning, and then was involved in the front end of a double play ball hit by Adam Volcano. Carter Roth has hits in 4 of his last 5 games. 8 for 22 in that time as the pitch from Martina gets away to the backstop, ball 1. Roth has 2 home runs and 13 RBIs in his last 5 games. 9 of the RBI came in a game against Swift Current, where the Mavericks won 24-4. A big night for Carter Roth. On the ground towards third base and shortstop, and off of Rell's glove and into short left field. We should call that a base hit, I would think. Roth, moving to his left, was able to get a glove on it, but could not squeeze. Nathan Houston behind him going into the hole. Roth runs well. He probably would have beat it out one way or the other. So up comes Adam Volcano, who grounded into the double play back in the first inning. First pitch is in there for a strike. 3 hits in the game now for the Mavericks against Clavert Martina. Adam Volcano on a 3-game hitting streak, 3 for 11. A throw over to first to check on Carter Roth, who has not stolen a base and been caught trying once. 1 away here in the top of the 4th inning. Martina checking on Roth over his shoulder. This one on the ground again. Houston at short, to second to Westland. On to first, double play. Adam Volcano has grounded into 2 different double plays in his first 2 times up. He's created 4 outs on his own. The inning-ending double play ends the inning. 4 Medicine Hat in the top of the 4th. No runs, 1 hit. No Barry's errors, nobody left on base. After 3.5 innings here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, it is Medicine Hat 1, Saskatoon no score. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW. And you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Bottom of the 4th inning coming up here. We can give you the defensive changes that we had with the departure of Yusei Yuzawa out of the game in right field. Jamel Shabbat, who pinch hit for him, is the catcher now. Aaron Volcano moves from first base to right field. And the catcher, Nate King, has moved over to first base. Top of the order now for the Berries against Tyler Spruiel, who's 9 up, 9 down through 3 innings. First pitch up high and inside to Carter Beck as the fans try and get involved and try and get in the ear and head of the pitcher. Ball 1 to Beck. Curve ball on the outside corner. Strike 1, 1-1. Beck Hit a solid line shot to right field his first time up. Caught out there by Uzawa, who's no longer in the game. Beck hitting .376 on the year. Breaking pitch outside, 2-1. 62 for 166 now is Carter Beck by going 0 for 1 his first time up. Now .373 for the year, and a pitch down and away, ball 3, 3-1. Spruill, all of a sudden, having trouble finding the strike zone. But there are some boisterous fans who are letting him know there's a breaking ball that's on the outside corner for a strike, and it's a full count. Corey Waters, the first baseman on deck. ABM Medina, the DH, due to hit here in the bottom of the fourth inning against Tyler Spruill for the Berries. 3-2 pitch, fastball down low, ball 4. There's your first base runner of the day for Saskatoon. Up comes Corey Waters, who flew out to center field his first time up. Waters on an 8-game hitting streak coming into today. 12 hits in 33 at-bats. Saskatoon product. 1 of 5 on the roster. Slide step first pitch breaking ball is on the outside corner, strike 1. Waters hitting .364 during his hitting streak coming into today. On the ground at the right side of the infield. That'll get on through into right field for a base hit. Beck stumbles around second but gets into third as Aaron Volcano, the right fielder, bobbled the ball briefly, but there's the first hit of the afternoon for the Berries. Beck around to third, first and third with nobody out, a 1-0 Medicine Hat lead, and ABM Medina coming to the plate. Medina, first pitch hitting his first time up, flew out to center fielder Aaron Volcano. Adam Volcano. Too many Volcanos in the game. And they're both playing outfield right now. Adams in center field, Aaron's in right field. Here's Medina. First pitch swinging, it's a little liner into left field. That'll drop for a base hit. Beck is in to score. Waters up to second. And we have a 1-1 tie as the first 3 batters here in the top of the fourth inning have reached base against Tyler Spruill after he retired the first 9 Berries in order through the first 3 innings. RBI 40 of the season for Medina. And now Mason Rell, who grounded out to the second baseman Babiak. A little bit of a line shot the first time up. Still nobody away. First baseman Nate King in on the infield grass, not holding the runner at first. Waters at second, Medina at first. A fastball in for a strike. Nathan Houston, the shortstop, on deck. Now tied up at 1-1 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Waters and Jaden Babiak playing a little cat and mouse out at second base. Rell pops this pitch up. Third baseman calling for it, that being the third baseman on the play, Carter Roth, makes the catch. And that's the first out by the Berries here in the bottom of the fourth inning. So now Nathan Houston, who flew out to center his first time up. Houston hits in 3 of his last 4 games, hitting .400 during that time with 3 RBI. Clean single into the outfield would likely score Waters from second base and give the Berries the lead all of a sudden here on a Sunday afternoon. This game moving along quickly with the good pitching going on. First one to Houston is outside, ball 1. Down the right field line, we have action in the Berries bullpen. We'll get to that momentarily. Clavert Martina has thrown unofficially 42 pitches through 4 innings. No longer on the hook for a decision here. And now time called at the last second by Nathan Houston, and Spruill was into his windup. Kind of surprised that home plate umpire Matt Schul granted time there. 1-0 pitch is a curveball down and in. Ball 2. Dallin Rood is throwing down the right field line for the Berries in the bullpen and may be coming in the 5th inning. Martina, a valuable utility arm, can start, give you a few innings, can long relieve, can come in high leverage situations. He'll be a big man out of the bullpen come playoff time. There's that slow curveball, change-up curve, and the big swing and a miss by Houston way out in front of it. 2-1. Ethan Murdoch, the right fielder, on deck. Spruill. The gaming going on at second. Down low with the fastball. 3-1 the count. Fabulous Sunday afternoon. We welcome you wherever you may happen to be tuning in today, whether it be on the webcast with FloCollege, the streaming video and audio service. Curveball upstairs, ball 4, and we have the bases loaded now for Ethan Murdoch. And out of the third base bullpen, the indication from the pitching coach is let's get somebody warming up and fast, as Jonathan Thornhill, the head coach, comes out to chat with Tyler Spruill, and one of the assistant coaches looked like Cesar Rodriguez, indicating for somebody to start getting warmed up down the left field line. But the bases are loaded with 1 away here for the Saskatoon Berries in the bottom of the 4th inning. And here comes the home plate umpire to break things up at the meeting of the mound. Matt Schul will say, let's break it up, boys, and let's get back to playing. So Ethan Murdoch to the plate. He grounded out to the third baseman Carter Roth to end the 2nd inning. Murdoch had a 9-game hitting streak ended last night. He is coming off his senior year at Marshall University. Spruill's first pitch is low and away, ball 1. But in those last 10 games, Murdoch is 15 for 39. With 2 home runs and 13 RBI. Breaking pitch slow and change-up breaking ball is up high, 2-0. In case you're wondering, 15 for 39 is 385 for Murdoch coming into the game today. Check swing, but it's a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Okay, so you want up to date on that. 15 for 40 is 375. The beauty of having a calculator on the laptop computer at your disposal. 2-1 pitch. At the knees, called strike, 2-2. Now the boisterous fans giving it to the pitcher are going to give it to the umpire. Matt Schul now the target of their vociferousness. 2-2 pitch. Slapped in front of the mound. It'll be underhand with the glove to first or to home plate in time to get Waters. So a fielder's choice is Murdoch just got a piece of that ball and put it out in front of the pitcher's mound. Spruill came on to get the glove on it and underhand it to the catcher Shabbat for the 2nd out. Base is still loaded. 2 away, though. And Balin Sorensen, the Berries catcher, coming up. as this is the 7th batter to hit for the Berries here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Tied up at 1-1. Abia Medina at third base, Nathan Houston at second. First pitch swinging, Sorensen towards third, but it'll be right to Carter Roth, who all he has to do is step on the bag for the force out, and that ends the inning. The Berries get a run on the board on 2 hits. There were no Medicine Hat errors and 3 runners left on base. After 4 innings complete, it is Saskatoon 1, Medicine Hat 1. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. I don't know. I haven't looked. Give me a minute here. New pitcher into the ball game for the Saskatoon Berries as we come to the top of the 5th inning, as I suspected. Clavert Martinez's day as the starter is done. Dallin Rude comes into the ball game for the 13th time this summer. In relief in all 13 times. 3 wins, no losses, 2 saves. An earned run average of 2.73. Rude has pitched 23 innings, allowed 23 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned, struck out 19, and walked 4. Dallin Rude is from Munster, Saskatchewan, coming off his freshman season at Colby Community College during the school year. He'll face the 6, 7, 8 hitters in the Medicine Hat lineup, starting with Blake Dale, the shortstop. Rude with that 3/4-ish sidearm delivery. Gets a foul ball up the first base side, strike 1. Dale struck out against Clavert Martina in the 2nd inning. Rude kicks and delivers. On the ground towards Mason Rell at third. Picked, throw cross diamond is in time, and there's one away. Brings up Jaden Babiak, the second baseman. Lined out to the shortstop, Nathan Houston, back in the 2nd inning. For Dallin Rude, pitched a couple of times last year for the team as an affiliate player. He last pitched back on July 31st in Regina. Pitched 3 innings. Didn't give up a run on just 1 hit. Got the save that game. Swing and a miss, strike 1 from left-handed hitting Jaden Babiak. Pitch gets away inside, back to the screen, 1-1. Rude pitched an inning and a third against Medicine Hat back on June 10th here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. No runs on 3 hits. Swing and a miss, strike 2, 1-2 the count on Babiak. It's the only time Rude has faced the Mavericks this season. It was only the 6th meeting of the season between these teams. Fouled off, and 1-2 count holds. Nate King, now the first baseman on deck for Medicine Hat. Top of the 5th inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To the left-hand hitting Babiak. Check swing, foul, and that will find its way into the parking lot. Again, the count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Babiak on a 7-game hitting streak coming into today, and he's made it 8 with a line drive single into center field. Babiak now with that 8-game hitting streak is 11 for 28, hitting .393 in that time. It'll bring up Nate King, who grounded one back to the pitcher, Martina. Rude, quick toss over to check on Babiak at first base. Babiak, 5 stolen bases in 7 attempts, and the first pitch from Rude brushes back King at the thigh area, knee area. Didn't hit him though, ball 1. Fastball in there for a strike. King is 1 for 11 in his last 3+ games, but that one was a home run. Back the other night against Weyburn. A throw over to first to check on Babiak. Left fielder Micah Dvorak is on deck for the Mavericks. Breaking pitch in there for a strike, 1-2. One hour into the ball game today, and we're already in the top of the 5th. 1-2 pitch, sweeper, way outside, 2-2. Good job by Sorensen to flag that down. With the runner on first base, Dallin Rude ready to deliver again. 2-2 pitch upcoming. Change up inside, full count. She is a warm day here in town today. A toss again over to first base. For a catcher, even the home plate umpire, especially the home plate umpire wearing that black top. Babiak goes with the pitch, fouled back to the screen, and the count holds at 3-2. Medicine Hat sending the runner with 1 out in the full count, trying to stay out of a potential double play. Of course, if it's a line drive caught in the infield or a fly ball, could be doubled off. On the ground towards second base, Westland spins, fires, gets it to second for 1. Back over to first, in time! Bang, bang at first base. A third double play executed by the Berries this afternoon, but the play made at the front end by Cooper Westland, going to his left into the hole between first and second, fields the ball in and swirls and fires to second accurately to Nathan Houston, who made the throw on to first for the double play, nipping Nate King at the bag by a half a step. No runs, 1 hit for Medicine Hat in the top of the 5th inning. No Berries errors, nobody left on base. After 4.5, we're halfway home. It is Saskatoon 1, Medicine Hat 1. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Think he was safe?
I think so.
Hang on. Okay, 1, 2, 03, 1401. Okay, and a new picture. Okay, thank you. We have a new pitcher coming into the ball game for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. It'll be number 18, Jensen Cockrell, coming in from Frisco, Texas, coming off his freshman year at Dallas College Eastfield. 6'3" right-hander. We'll write his name into the old scorebook here and then tell you a little bit more about him. We don't want batters. We want pitching here on the old website. Jensen Cockrell into the ball game for the Mavericks, making his 8th appearance of the season, 7th one in relief. 1 win, 1 loss, a 6.27 earned run average. Pitched 14 1/3 innings this year, allowed 15 hits, 18 runs, only 10 of them earned, 10 strikeouts and 9 walks. He'll face Cooper Westland, Evan Janner, and then Carter Beck at the top of the Berries order here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And a 1-1 tie between the top 2 teams in the WCBL's East Division. Cockrell with a big looping curve that's over the head of Cooper Westland to the backstop. Ball 1. Jensen Cockrell with an interesting debut to the game. Was the winning pitcher in Swift Current back on July 29th. That last pitch outside to Westland 2-0, who grounded out to the second baseman Babiak his first time up. Shows bunt, takes a strike, 2-1. Cockrell pitched 5 innings and got the win in Swift Current on the 29th. That was Tuesday. Breaking ball high in the strike zone and a called strike, 2-2. Pitched 5 innings of 1-hit ball, struck out 3 and walked 2. Faced the Berries at home on June 28th and took the loss. Westland fouls that off of his body. That pitch was inside and he swung at it and fouled it off the top of his right hip. Count holds at 2-2. That'll smart. That was a 13-1 Berries win back on June 28th. Cockrell pitched 2/3 of an inning that day. Gave up 7 hits, 1 walk, 9 runs, only 2 of them earned. Faced 11 batters in 2/3 of an inning. Must have been punishment for something to leave him out there for that long. 2-2 pitch upcoming. Breaking pitch, hit in the air, foul towards the Berries' first base dugout. Nate King over to make the catch, the first baseman, and there's one away. Bring up Evan Janner. Struck out in the 3rd inning in his only previous at-bat. Janner had a 6-game hitting streak ended last night. Still, within the last 7 games, he's 9 for 26 as he shows bunt in the first pitch and a breaking ball in for a strike. Janner hitting .333 now in his last 7+ games. Pitch on the inside corner for strike 2. He falls behind. Couple of home runs and 7 RBI for Evan Janner out of New Braunfels, Texas. Pops this one up in the infield. Carter Roth, the third baseman, shielding his eyes. Taking charge, makes the catch. 2 away. And it'll bring up Carter Beck. Beck walked and scored the Berries' run last inning. Flew out to right field back in the 1st inning. Beck, a 2-time All-Star in the Western Canadian Baseball League, the All-Star Game MVP last year. First pitch breaking ball inside, ball 1. Beck hitting .350 head-to-head against Medicine Hat this year with a home run and 4 RBI. Down and in, ball 2, 2-0. Corey Waters hoping to get an at-bat here in the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 pitch, inside, 3-0. Beck among the league leaders in walks, already has a free pass today. Cockrell's 3-0 pitch is inside, ball 4. So Beck is on. It'll bring up Corey Waters. Let's see. For Beck, that is walk number 37 of the year. He is third in the league behind the Moose Jaw pair of Thomas Soto and Ben Wallachek. Soto, by the way, set a league record last night, scoring a 70th run this season in the leadoff spot for Moose Jaw. Waters takes a strike. Berries will play Thomas Soto, Ben Wallachek, and the Moose Jaw Miller Express in the first round of the playoffs, starting Wednesday here. High breaking ball, 1-1 to Waters, who's 1 for 2, singled his last time up, extended his hitting streak to 9 games. 3 for 14 head-to-head this year against Medicine Hat with 2 RBI. Beck with a big lead at first. Waters fouls it back to the screen, 1-2. Corey Waters now tied for the league lead in home runs. Didn't hit one last night, but somewhere along the line the stats have been updated. And he's in a tie. Hits this one on the ground. Babiuk at second, fields the 2-hopper, throws on to first to retire the side. Berries don't score in the bottom of the 5th inning. They also didn't have a hit. There was no Medicine Hat errors and a runner left on base. After 5 complete, we are tied up at 1-1, Saskatoon Berries and Medicine Hat Mavericks, as you're listening to Saskatoon Berries baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
Should be a track.
Wouldn't know how to slide. Heading to the top of the 6th inning on a brilliantly gorgeous and hot Sunday afternoon here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Still saying mostly cloudy outside. I guess there's a few of them. 28 degrees Celsius. And for you folks tuning in down south, that's 82 degrees Fahrenheit. East-southeast wind gusting to 34 kilometers per hour, or around 20 miles per hour, as the first pitch to Micah Dvorak from Dallin Rood is a breaking ball for a strike. Dvorak struck out in the 3rd inning. He'll put this one on the ground. 2-hopper, Cooper Westland with it. He'll underhand to first, and there's one away. Brings up Aaron Volcano, who's now in right field. Started the game at first base, but when the starting right fielder, Yusei Yuzawa, left the game in the 3rd inning, it was time for Aaron Volcano to come on, and he takes a big swing and a miss at Rood's first pitch, strike 1. Aaron Volcano, 5 for 16 head-to-head against the Berries this year. Pitch up high, 1-1. 5 for 16, if I remember correctly, is .313 for the batting average. Breaking pitch is hooked foul down the 3rd baseline. 1-2 the count. Yep, .313. My memory is sharp still. Math, not so bad either. Pitch down low to Aaron Volcano, 2-2 the count. Dallin Rood needed 13 pitches unofficially to get through the fifth inning, his first inning of work in relief of Clavert Martina. And now here's Aaron Volcano with a base hit through the middle, extending his hitting streak to 5 games. Make him 6 for 17 and above .333 for the year against the Berries. Jamel Shabbat comes up for the second time. He pinch hit for Uzawa back in the third inning. Hit a dribbler back to Clavert Martina. Signals being given by Jonathan Thornhill, who's at first base coaching. First pitch to Shabbat is in there for a strike. Shabbat came into the game hitting .292, 19 hits and 65 at-bats. That one clipped him on the elbow pad on the way through, so a hit batsman, and Aaron Volcano will advance to second base. Runners on first and second with one away now for Medicine Hat, and Tyler Van Est, the very dangerous number 3 hitter at the plate now for the Mavericks. Van Est doubled in the only Medicine Hat run back in the first inning, flew out to right at a line drive to right, his last time up against Clavert Martina. Foul ball up the first base line, strike 1. Van Ness now has hits in 9 of 10 games, 18 of 37, just below 500, 10 RBI in those 10 games. Third-year member of the Mavericks. Dallin Rood with a 1-strike count on Van Ness. He'll hit this one on the ground. Backing up is Corey Waters. The flip to Rood at first, covering. And the runners advance. Aaron Volcano to third and Jamel Shabbat to second on the ground out. So Carter Roth now to the plate. He's been on base twice. Roth walked in the first inning, singled in the fourth, but then got doubled off. Berries have turned 3 double plays in this game. Roth 8 for 17 on the year head-to-head against Saskatoon. As I mentioned before, a 9 RBI game for him against Swift Current back on the 26th of July. Home run, a double, 4 hits and 5 at-bats that night. Rood pours in a strike. That game on July 26th was back last Saturday. And that was at home against the 57s. Roth taps this one up the third base line. Do or die play. There is no play. And coming in to score from third base is Aaron Volcano on the swinging bunt single up the third base line. Shabbat to third. Roth makes it. Drives in his 54th run of the season. And Medicine Hat takes a 2-1 lead on the swinging bunt here in the top of the 6th inning. Tough play there. It'll bring up Adam Volcano, who's grounded into a couple of double plays. No chance of that happening this time as there's 2 outs. First pitch is down and away, ball 1. Roth sits third in the league now with 54 RBI. Popped up down the right field line and twisting foul onto the tarp in the just short of the Berries right field bullpen area. Again, it's a Moose Jaw pair that lead the league in RBI. William Edwards, 63. Austin Gurney with 59 coming into the game, into action today. 1-1 the count on Adam Volcano, the center fielder. Medicine Hat with the lead once again. Rude's pitch down low. 2-1. Blake Dale, the shortstop, on deck. Rude facing his 9th hitter in the Medicine Hat lineup, so he'll be going through the second time around with the next man up, and that pitch hits him again. Inside, clips Adam Volcano, and it loads the bases up with 2 away. And Joe Carnahan, the head coach of the Berries, is going to come out and have a little discussion with Dallin Rude. And he'll face Blake Dale. 2-hit batsmen have aided the cause of getting Medicine Hat a run and kept the inning alive now. Nobody throwing in the Berries right field bullpen, so this is just to try and calm Rude down and get that third out here with Medicine Hat having the bases loaded in the top of the 6th. Blake Dale could break this one open with an extra base hit.
Hey, Heather, can you do something about the sun?
So the mound meeting is done. Everybody returns to their places. Rude gets a new baseball.
It's okay right now.
Blake Dale 0 for 2 today. Struck out in the 2nd inning, grounded out to 3rd in the 5th. Dale with a 6-game hitting streak coming into today. 8 for 25 in that time, hitting .320. This one hit on the ground towards 3rd. Mason Rell tried to short hop the second hop and can't come up with it. And we have another run scored to make it 3-1. Error this time on Mason Rell. Shabbat in to score. It'll be an unearned run that makes it 3-1. And now Jaden Babiak to the plate. Babiak singled his last time up against Rude in the 5th inning. Rude pitching from the full windup with the bases loaded and 2 out. Down low, ball 1. Medicine Hat Mavericks jumping out ahead now 3-1 with a couple of runs here in the top of the 6th inning. 8th man to the dish here in the top of the 6th. Outside, ball 2. Babiak 5 for 19 on the season against the Berries. Just above 250. Line drive. This one is going to drop in left field. Evan Janner up with it. They'll hold the runner at 3rd as the ball is thrown back into the infield. Now it gets away, but Rude able to. Now they've got men hung up. A throw to second base, and now they have to come home. They've got a man hung up there. Sorensen will run him back to 3rd base and make the tag on the runner going into 3rd, that being Adam Volcano. A run comes in to score to make it 4-1 on Babiak's single to left, but Blake Dale charged around second base and ended up getting to 3rd and put Volcano in no man's land, and eventually the Berries were able to get him out. But for Medicine Hat in the top of the 6th inning, they scored 3 runs, and they do it on 3 hits. There was a Berries error and 3 runners left on base. Sorry, 2 runners left on base. After 5.5, it is Medicine Hat 4, Saskatoon 1. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Thank you. Right away, yep. Hang on. Okay, we need 7 here.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
3. Yep, okay.
I just missed the hits, I guess. What's going on?
So a 3-run top of the 6th inning for the Medicine Hat Mavericks has them out in front of the Saskatoon Berries 4-1. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, Jensen Cockrell back out for a 2nd inning of work. In relief, he'll face Abiam Medina, the designated hitter first. Medina shows bunt and a pitch down low, ball 1. Third baseman Mason Rell, shortstop Nathan Houston due up for Saskatoon here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cockrell's pitch is on the outside corner, strike 1. Medina singled and drove in Carter Beck with the only Berries run back his last time up in the 4th inning. 1 for 2, pitch down and in, 2-1. Medina 3 for 13 now in his last 3+ games with 4 RBIs. Came into the game hitting .357. 2-1 pitch is down low, 3-1. Nobody throwing in either bullpen right now. Medina waiting on a 3-1 pitch from Jensen Cockrell. Kicks and delivers, and that's outside, ball 4. Leadoff man is on. Bring us up Mason Rell. Rell 0 for 2. 8 for 23 on the season against the Medicine Hat Mavericks. That equates to a .348 average with 1 RBI. First pitch from Cockrell up high over Rell's heads, ball 1. Cockrell's pitch, breaking ball again, stays inside over top of the head of Rell, who had to duck down out of the way, and catcher Shabbat, Jamel Shabbat, along with third baseman Carter Roth in, and here come the rest of the infielders in now to talk to pitcher Jensen Cockrell. Mavericks up 4-1, just got that lead in the top of the inning. Meanwhile, Medicine Hat head coach Jonathan Thornhill, I should say, is going to send somebody out to the bullpen to start throwing. Garrick Levesque is walking down that way. We'll get a bullpen catcher going with him right away, I'm sure. Pitch now is in there for a strike on the 2-0 count. Rell taking all the way. And a few more folks start to make their way down the left field line out of the third base bullpen, or third base dugout, to the bullpen. Down low to Rell. 3-1 the count. Shortstop Nathan Houston on deck for the Berries. Flags in top of the right field scoreboard are now gone limp. Chai Chopper, Roth with it at third. The throw on in time to get Rell by a half a step, while Abiam Medina advances up to second base. 1 away. It'll be Nathan Houston coming to the plate. Houston walked his last time up in the 4th inning. He's 0 for 1. 6 for 16 on the season against the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Hitting .375 head-to-head against them. With 3 RBI, and he has a duck on the pond here. Breaking ball inside, ball 1. Cockrell taking his sign on the mound. Houston puts a charge into this one, left field. And this one is gone. You can kiss that baby goodbye. Nathan Houston's third home run of the season. A 2-run shot to left field makes it 4-3. Medicine Hat still in the lead. But a key hit from Nathan Houston makes this a one-run game. And now Cockrell calling for time and looking for a rosin bag to be tossed out to him from the starting pitcher today, Tyler Spruill. That don't know if that makes the difference or not out there for him, but 2 RBI for Houston, 38 on the season to go along with his third home run, and a well-hit shot to left field. Mentioned the wind out of the east-southeast at 34 kilometers an hour would have helped that a little bit, push it towards the foul pole as Burdock, first pitch swinging, hits a foul ball up over the first base bleachers. Ethan Burdock 0 for 2 today. On the ground, 2 hopper here for Jaden Babiak. The throw on to first base for the second out. It'll bring up Balin Sorensen, who's 0 for 2. Sorensen 2 for 16 on the season against Medicine Hat with 1 RBI. Second year Berries. Caught a lot early in the season until the Berries got Rudy Gonzalez in near the end of June. And since then, it's been basically every other game for Balin Sorensen. First pitch from Jensen Cockrell is in there for a strike. One-run ball game. Medicine Hat in the lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. Breaking pitch outside. 1-1. Second last day of the WCBL's regular season. At least for these two teams, there is going to be a game on Tuesday that will help to determine playoff positioning in the West Division. 2-1 pitch upcoming to Balin Sorensen. Hit on the ground towards third. Carter Roth picks. Cross-body throw across the diamond in time. And that is the end of the inning. But the Berries get 2 runs on the 2-run homer from Nathan Houston. That was their only hit. There were no Medicine Hat errors and nobody left on base. After 6 complete, Medicine Hat 4, Saskatoon 3. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW. And you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Your unofficial line score through 6 innings of play here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field on a Sunday afternoon. The Medicine Hat Mavericks have 4 runs on 7 hits. They have not committed an error. They've left 3 runners on base. For the Saskatoon Berries, 3 runs on 3 hits. They've committed 1 error. They've left 4 runners on base. Dallin Rude back out for a 3rd inning of work here in the top of the 7th. After Clavert Martina pitched 4 innings, allowed 3 hits, gave up a run earned, struck out 3, and walked 1, was helped out by a couple of double play balls as he pitched to 14 hitters over 4 innings and unofficially threw 42 pitches. Rude's first pitch here, chopped into the ground and foul. Nate King is up to bat. He's got a strike on him. 0 for 2 today for King. Grounded into a double play his last time up. Rude, that curveball, his release point not there with it right now. He's hit a couple of batters with that as it stays inside on a right-handed hitter and has clipped a couple of guys. Now King with a line drive into right field. Evan Janover will make the catch on the 1-1 pitch, and there's one away. Micah Dvorak, the left fielder, coming up. He's 0 for 2. Dvorak grounded out last inning to start the inning. Comes in on a 3-game hitting streak, 4 for 11. Make that 4 for 13 now with an RBI. He's 4 for 18 on the season against the Berries, which equates to a .222 average. 2 runs batted in for him. Dallin Rude's first pitch to Micah Dvorak. Hard hit ball. That'll get past a diving Westland into right field for a base hit. So Dvorak's got his hitting streak up to 4 games, as that is hit number 8 on the day for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Out hitting the Berries 8-3, only leading by 1 on the scoreboard. Aaron Volcano singled and scored his last time up. Facing Dallin Rude. Action down the left field line in the Medicine Hat bullpen, as there's that curveball in for a strike. Down the right field line, nothing yet, although I see Turner Zdunich wandering down that way. Fouled off, out of play by Aaron Volcano, 2 strikes. Down the left field line, that is Garrick Levesque, who is warming up for Medicine Hat, a left-hander. Rude's pitch outside, 1-2. Now the count on Aaron Volcano. Catcher Jamel Shabbat on deck. Runner on first is Micah Dvorak. Up high to Aaron Volcano. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the activity down the left field line is done. I'm going to imagine we're going to see a pitching change, as Aaron Volcano with a line shot over the head of shortstop Nathan Houston into left center field. Carter Beck over to field the ball and get it quickly back into the infield, but Volcano with his second hit of the game. Dvorak stops up at second base. Brings up Jamel Shabbat. Hit by a pitch last inning and eventually scored. Part of the 3-run Medicine Hat top of the 6th inning. And they're threatening again now, as Rudy Gonzalez starts to head out towards the bullpen, probably to do some catching. Hits it on the ground. Up with it is Waters. To second, and it's out into left field. Throw was wide. Coming in to score is Micah Dvorak on the throwing error by Corey Waters. So it's a fielder's choice. Aaron Volcano into second, and coming in to score on the error to the first baseman Waters is Dvorak, making the score 5-3. That could have been a 4th double play, as Waters, moving to his right, fielded the ball, and if the throw was there for Nathan Houston, the pitcher Rude was heading over to first to cover for the relay throw, but instead, 1 away only, and runners on first and second again. And the ever-dangerous Tyler Van Nest up at the plate. He takes a strike. Van Nest doubled in a run back in the first inning. He's 1 for 3 today. 7 for 23 in the season series against the Berries with a home run and 5 RBI. On the ground towards Houston. It gets by him into left center field. Waving on home as a throw from the outfield will be cut at the pitcher's mound by Waters, and in to score is Aaron Volcano. makes the score 6-3 as Shabbat stops up at second base. And we're going to call that a base hit and an RBI for Tyler Van Nest. A hard hit ball that ate up Nathan Houston at shortstop. Meanwhile, down the right field line, we're starting to see some activity. Alex Chumra, Carson Obrecht are both up. Not yet throwing, but they should be soon, as here comes Carter Roth to the plate. Rude's first pitch. Roth lifts this one into shallow center field. Coming on, that'll drop in. And everybody's going to be safe as they'll all advance 90 feet. Shabbat to third, Van Ness to second. And Carter Roth has his third hit in 3 at-bats. And head coach Joe Carnahan coming out to the mound to talk to Dallin Rude. Alex Chumra just started throwing, so he may need a few tosses before he's really ready to go. And the first pitch he threw got away from the catcher. A slow walk out to the mound by Carnahan, and he'll take as much time as he can here to help Chumra get ready. A home plate umpire, Matt Schul, now finally starting to make his walk out there. Break up the mound meeting. Carnahan's headed back to the dugout. Chumra not ready. Rude will pitch to Adam Volcano, who's 0 for 2 and hit by a pitch. Another 2 runs have scored here for the Mavericks in this 7th inning. They lead 6-3 now, and the base is loaded with 1 out. Volcano has grounded into a couple of double plays, and the Berries could use one here right now. A strike at the knees on the inside corner. Blake Dale, the shortstop, on deck. 6-3, the lead for Medicine Hat. Rude has his sign. He's throwing from the stretch and fouled off. Strike 2. 2 strikes on Adam Volcano with Blake Dale, the on-deck hitter. Waters at third, playing on the edge of the grass. Rest of the infielders are playing about halfway as far as infield depth goes. 2-strike pitch curls outside. 1-2. Alex Chumra continues to throw down the right field line for the Berries. This might be Rude's last batter that he faces. We'll see. 1-2 pitch outside again. 2-2. This game was moving along 1-1 through 5 innings, but now each team has scored in the last 3 half innings, and as a result, slowing down, pitching changes, visits to the mound, some runs scored, line drive, and it's going to be foul down the right field side towards the bullpen. Everybody's okay, getting out of the way. Count holds at 2-2. Adam Volcano, the hitter. 0 for 2, hit by a pitch, and made a base running mistake last inning that allowed the inning to be over. 2-2. Hit into center field. Beck charging, makes the catch, and will throw it back into the infield. Cut by Waters at the pitching mound, but nobody advances. And there's 2 away. So now Blake Dale coming on. He is 0 for 3. Reached on an error the last inning. Mason Rell tried to short hop a 2-hopper, a charging or a high hop ball towards third base. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Outside 1-1.
Heather, my strike button is strikeout button's pending.
Outside and low, ball 2, 2-1.
Well, I'm hitting that strikeout. Go watch.
2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. 6-3 Medicine Hat with the lead with a couple of runs in against Dallin Rude. 2-1 pitch. Hit back to him, and he spears the one hopper. He'll throw on to first, and that gets him out of the inning. But for a second straight inning, Medicine Hat sends up 8 runners to the plate. They get a couple of runs on 4 hits. There was 1 Barry's error and 3 runners left on base. After 6.5, as we head to the 7th inning stretch, it is the Medicine Hat Mavericks 6 and the Saskatoon Berries 3. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege.
Bottom of the 7th.
It's 3.
That's good.
6-3. Okay.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all you can do sometimes with these freezes, so. Continue on. Yeah.
Coming on to the bottom of the 7th inning with Medicine Hat up 6-3 on the Saskatoon Berries, and a new pitcher coming into the ball game for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. It'll be Garrick Levesque out of Littleton, Colorado, coming off his senior year at Tabor College. Garrick Levesque will make his 17th appearance of the season. They've all been in relief. He has a record of 2-0, a 6.67 earned run average. 28 in the 3rd innings pitched. He's allowed 33 hits, 30 runs, but 21 of them are earned. 22 strikeouts and 24 walks for Garrick Levesque. He'll face Cooper Westland, Evan Janner, and Carter Beck here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Levesque's first pitch upstairs and outside, ball 1. Westland 0 for 2. 3 for 13 with 2 RBIs in the season series against Medicine Hat. Outside 2-0. Levesque's last outing was just back on Thursday. He got the win in relief as Westland fouls a 2-0 patch back to the screen, 2-1. He pitched 3 innings and got the credit for the win in Swift Current, a 7-1 win. Didn't give up a hit in those 3 innings, struck out 3. So an effective outing for Garrick Levesque. Jonathan Thornhill going back to him. There's a slow breaking ball that's in for a strike. 2-2 the count on Westland. Levesque pitched against the Berries at home in a 13-1 loss back on June 28th in Medicine Hat. 4 1/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs both earned, struck out 3, walked nobody as he's gone full with the count on Cooper Westland and Evan Janner on deck. Levesque also pitched here against the Berries on June 10th. Check swing, and they appeal at first. It's outside, ball 4.
Now it's time to go walk.
So now in comes Evan Janner. It doesn't like either of those two things.
I don't know. What the hell? Okay, it's not like either one of those buttons anymore. I know I could do that. I guess I could just do
Yep.
that.
Lefty Levesque against lefty Evan Janner. Pitch outside, ball 1.
That's fine.
Barry's down 3 here in the bottom of the 7th inning, looking for a rally. Top of the order, Carter Beck on deck. Another breaking pitch, this time in there for a strike against Janner, who's 0 for 2 today.
Yeah, thank God.
Evan Janner 5 for 17. Head to head against Medicine Hat with a couple of homers and 10 RBIs. Big lead at first base for Westland. Pitch outside, barely outside, 2-1. Pitch framed for a second there by the catcher Jamel Shabbat. And Levesque wanted the call but didn't get it. Now 2-1 pitch, and that is outside. And again, pitcher and catcher keeping it to themselves, but the body language says they thought that was a strike, so it's 3-1 now. Westland at first. Janner fouls it off high onto the screen. And a full count again. (6-3) Medicine Hat with the lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Nobody out. Full count pitch. Westland with a big lead. Now Janner hits a little nubber towards second baseman Babiuk. He'll field, get it on to first. Janner made it close, but he's out. Westland advances to second base. There's one away. So now it'll bring up Carter Beck, who's walked twice, flew out to right his first time up. They need hits. They've only had 3 of them this afternoon. Only 4 last night. Berries do not want to have their bats go cold collectively at this time of the year. Pitch in there for a strike from Levesque. Corey Waters is on deck. Still action down the right field line, and there's also pitchers warming up down the left field side in the Medicine Hat bullpen. Beck hits one through the hole between short and third into left field. Big throw coming home. It's going to be wide of the mark as Westland slides safely into home plate, and Beck advances to second on the throw home. Left fielders throw way too high over the cutoff man's head from Micah Dvorak and towards the backstop of home plate, allowing Westland to score. An RBI for Beck, his 42nd of the year, as he now has hits in 6 of 7 games. And Cleaver Martina will come out to grab the equipment of Carter Beck that he uses to protect himself when at the plate. But he's on second with one away, and Corey Waters at the plate now. Facing the left-handed pitching Garrick Levesque. High in the strike zone for a strike. Waters 1 for 3 today. Singled in the 4th inning. Fouled off. That's out of play over top of the first base bleachers. Quickly Levesque up 0-2 on Corey Waters. Down the left field line, there's somebody warming up. Can't tell even with binoculars what the number is. Waters fists one into left center field. That one's dropping, is in there for a base hit. Beck will advance to third, and Waters off of first base because nobody's covering the bag. But he will stay there. And so now first and third with one out, and AB and Medina will come up. Catcher Shabbat out to talk with Levesque as the Berries are trailing 6-4 and have a fifth run 90 feet from home plate. Down the left field line, the pitcher working. Doesn't really have a catcher. He's just throwing to a teammate. But that's number 20 who's down there throwing. That's Diego Centella from Panama City, Panama, off his junior year at Ottawa University, who's just throwing gently until needed. Medina flares one foul down the third base line, left field line, strike one. Medina 1 for 2, single, drove in a run in the fourth inning, walked and scored in the sixth inning. Mason Rell on deck. Breaking pitch outside, 1-1. Carter Beck at third base. Corey Waters at first. One away here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Levesque's pitch is outside with a fastball, 2-1. Those have looked pretty good. But home plate umpire Matt Schul is squeezing that strike zone, it seems. 2-1 pitch. That one's low and away and blocked by the catcher Shabbat, and 3-1 the count. And now we actually have, well, it's not even a real, well, we do have a catcher out there. He's got a mask on, but no shin guards out there. And continuing to throw is Diego Centella, but with a little more urgency now. 3-1 pitch. Hit on the ground. That's through for a base hit into left field. Beck scores. It's 6-5. Waters up to second. 3 consecutive singles. And it's a one-run ball game once again. 2 RBI for AB and Medina today, and Mason Rell coming up with one away. And here comes Jonathan Thornhill out to chat with Garrick Levesque, who just came on this half inning. 3 hits and a walk have led to 2 Berries runs. They're back to within 1 of Medicine Hat here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And like I was saying, this game has slowed down considerably, as we're almost at the 2-hour mark, and that's going to be it for Levesque. We're going to get a pitching change. A third of an inning for Garrick Levesque. Gives up 3 hits and 1 walk. Faced just 5 batters. And into the ball game will be Diego Centella, a right-hander out of Ottawa University in Kansas. Let's tell you more about Diego Centella and his season so far. This will be his 17th appearance of the season, all in relief. 2 wins, 2 losses, a 3.14 earned run average. Centella has pitched 28 2/3 innings, allowed 21 hits, 12 runs, 10 of them earned. He has struck out 28 and walked 11. He's a 6-foot-tall right-hander out of Panama City, Panama. Again, coming off his junior year at Ottawa University. His last action was last night in Weyburn. Sorry, 2 days ago in Weyburn. A 7-6 Medicine Hat loss. He took the loss. pitched 2 1/3 innings, allowed 2 hits, no runs, yet he's charged with the loss. Struck out 6 and walked 1. Does Centella pitch against Saskatoon this year? He has. In this ballpark, back on June the 10th, he pitched an inning. A clean inning, didn't give up a hit, faced 3 batters, didn't have a strikeout or walk. That was a 7-1 Berries win back then, so this is the second time the Berries will face Diego Centella. And Mason Rell will get the first crack at him at the bat. 1 away, runners on first and second. Corey Waters at second, Abian Medina at first. Rell 0 for 3. Has had some big hits of recent, but in the last 3 games he's gone a little on the cool side. Centella's first pitch is outside to Rell, ball 1. Rell hitting .333 on the year against Medicine Hat with 1 RBI. Right-handed hitter from West Bend, Wisconsin. Puts this one in the air into right field. Volcano over will make the catch. Waters started to head to third, and the ball is cut off with a leaping catch by the shortstop, Blake Dale. So 2 away, and Nathan Houston, who had a 2-run home run last inning, comes to the dish. Houston 1 for 2 today with that home run and 2 RBI. Facing Centella. Looking to get the Berries at least into a tie situation with a clean single into the outfield. First pitch fouled off, strike 1. Berries with 3 hits in this inning. Doubled their hit output for the game prior to this inning. Now have 6 hits in the day. Centella watching the jockeying back and forth between second baseman Babiuk and the base runner Waters, and then delivers a pitch up high, ball 1, 1-1. Ethan Murdoch hoping to get an at-bat. He's on deck. One pitch, swing and a miss, 1-2. Top 2 teams in the East Division just playing it out, although the Berries would love to win a game to break the WCBL record for wins in a season. They're tied with Sylvan Lake right now, each with 44. Sylvan Lake was 44-12 last year. Berries would like to make that record only stand 1 year. Called strike 3 on a breaking ball. And that's the end of the inning. The Berries score twice in the bottom of the 7th on 3 hits. There were no Medicine Hat errors. 2 runners left on base. After 7 complete, it is the Medicine Hat Mavericks 6 and the Saskatoon Berries 5. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Right away. Okay, let's see. Mm-hmm. We're coming back here for the top of the 8th inning. And a pitching change for the 6. Pitching change for the Saskatoon Berries. Into the game is Alex Chumra. He'll be the third pitcher coming into the ball game for Joe Carnahan and the Berries. Tell you a little bit more about Alex Chumra and his season so far. This will be his 10th appearance of the year and his 8th out of the bullpen. 2 wins, no losses, a 2.45 earned run average. He's pitched 14 2/3 innings, allowed 9 hits, 10 runs, 4 of them earned, struck out 16 and walked 8. Chumra from Parker, Colorado, coming off his freshman year at West Texas A&M. Comes into a game that's a one-run game in favor of Medicine Hat at 6-5. He'll face the bottom third of the Mavericks order, starting with Jaden Babiak. First pitch up and in, ball 1. Babiak with a couple of hits. Drove in a run back in the 6th inning. This one's lined into left center field. It'll get down and fielded off the one hop by Evan Janner in left field. Tossed back into the infield, but Babiak 3 for 4 now, and that's the 12th hit of the game for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Brings up Nate King, who's 0 for 3. Grounded into a double play in the 5th inning. Berries have turned 3 double plays in this ball game. It's helped them to stay within a run, as Medicine Hat's had a fair number of base runners today. Mavericks didn't have hitting practice or BP before the game. King with a line drive into right field. This is caught. Now the throw to first base, but not able to get it back in time. It was a spike throw into the ground by Murdoch, and the ball rolled in towards first base, allowing Babiak to get back to the bag. 1 away. Micah Dvorak singled and scored last inning for Medicine Hat as he comes up to face Chumra. 1 for 3 today's Dvorak. More action in the bullpen for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Chumra's pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. It's a left-hander that's throwing down in the bullpen. I believe it's 15, Deegan Sanders. One strike pitch upcoming to Micah Dvorak. Heading off for second base is Babiak. The throw down by Sorensen, and he is out. Nathan Houston slaps the tag on. I believe that was strike 2 on the pitch. But that's now 2 away as Sorensen guns down Babiak at second base, and Babiak not happy with that. So 2 strikes the count on Dvorak, who's slowly making his way to the Medicine Hat third base dugout. Not overly thrilled with the out call from the umpire down that way, Logan Nugent. Babiak thrown out for the 3rd time this year with 5 steals. There's a breaking pitch outside 1-2 to the number 9 hitter. Medicine Hat's top of the order is up next. Chumra's pitch bounced in front of the plate, 2-2. Dvorak 1 for 3, extended his hitting streak to 4 games with his single last inning. Past the 2-hour mark today in this ball game. Fouled off towards first base coaching box. Count holds 2-2. 27 degrees Celsius now. Mostly cloudy skies, and the wind has backed off southeast at 12 kilometers per hour only. Still a nice afternoon. Popped up, foul ground. Sorensen coming over, Rell coming over. It's into the third base bleachers. Out of play. Dvorak stays alive at 2-2. Tanner Hosick is warming up down the right field line in the Berries bullpen. He might be coming on in the 9th inning, especially if the Berries can come back, tie, and or take the lead in the bottom of the 8th. But they got to get out of this to top of the 8th inning first. 2-2 pitch is down and in. Ball 3, a full count on Micah Dvorak. All quiet down the left field line in the Medicine Hat bullpen. Payoff pitch. It's hit foul just past the first base bag. Full count will hold. And the 9th pitch of the at-bat for Chumra to Micah Dvorak upcoming. Chumra last pitched a week ago Friday in Swift Current. 3-2 pitches outside, ball 4. So after going up 0-2, but Dvorak able to spoil, and now here comes Joe Carnahan out with Aaron Volcano coming to the plate. Hosick is warm and ready to go, so he may make that move here right now with a runner on first. And the very tough part of the Medicine Hat order coming up, the top of their order. Aaron Volcano has singled in each of the last 2 innings and scored both innings. Started the game as a first baseman, now in right field, but Chumra will stay on to face him. If it was Tyler Van Nest coming up right now, I would say you'd probably see a change. But Chumra getting an opportunity to finish off this top of the 8th inning with his team down by 1. Medicine Hat with a runner on first base. Dvorak with 5 stolen bases. There's a swing and a miss, strike 1. Dvorak 5 steals in 7 attempts. One strike pitch, breaking ball inside. That was the slow breaking curveball. And a 1-1 count. Chumra at the belt. Delivers down and away, 2-1. Berries in the bottom of the 8th inning will send up Ethan Murdoch, Balin Sorensen, and Cooper Westland. 2-1 pitch is inside, 3-1 to Aaron Volcano, with Jamel Shabbat, the catcher, on deck. Three and one pitch upcoming from Chumra. Down low, ball 4. And so now, with 2 away, back-to-back walks, and that's going to be the end of the line for Alex Chumra, as Joe Carnahan's up out of the Berries first base dugout to come get him. And Tanner Hosick will come on into the game. 2/3 of an inning for Chumra. And he gets a nice applause from the crowd here at Next gen patch. Hosick coming on. He's been a busy man out of the bullpen. Be his 16th appearance of the season. He has 2 wins, 2 losses, and 5 saves. A 2.41 earned run average, 18 and 2/3 innings pitched, allowing just 13 hits, 8 runs, 5 of them earned. He has struck out 21 and walked 4. Tanner Hosick from Bellevue, Nebraska, coming off his freshman year at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. His last outing was back on Friday in Regina. That was a 7-6 Red Sox win in which Hosick took the loss. He faced a couple of batters, gave up a hit and an error, 2 runs, 1 earned. It was a 2-run homer that beat him and beat the Berries that night. For Hosick, this will be the 3rd time he's facing Medicine Hat. The 2 previous times took the loss in Medicine Hat. Faced 2 batters, gave up 2 hits and a run in an 8-7 Medicine Hat victory. Pitched 2 innings against the Mavericks. Here at Next Gen Patch, a 5-4 Berries win, pitching 2 innings and striking out 3 without allowing a hit. So Tanner Hosick, hard-throwing right-hander. Again, that hard throwing belies the physical stature of just 5'7" and 155 pounds. But he brings it. So he'll face Jamel Shabbat, who's 0 for 2. Hit by a pitch, scored a run in the 6th inning. Grounded into a fielder's choice last inning. 2 away here, and Hosick's first pitch fastball is in for a strike. Berries will want to get this man and leave Tyler Van Ness to lead off the top of the 9th inning rather than have him come on with runners on base, if at all possible. 1 strike pitch, hit on the ground. Rell fields it, throws over to second for the force play to end the inning. No runs for Medicine Hat in the top of the 8th inning. 1 hit. There were no Berries errors and 2 runners left on base. After 7.5, it's Medicine Hat 6, Saskatoon 5. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Hang on, let me just see. Yep, you're good. Bottom of the 8th inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. A 1-run ball game. The visitors, Medicine Hat Mavericks, with a 6-5 lead. Their 4th pitcher of the day, Diego Centella, staying in the ball game, waiting on the arrival of the catcher, Jamel Shabbat, who made the last out. Centella a little anxious up there as the initial catcher came out to take a few tosses, head back to the dugout, and Centella is anxious to keep on going. Here comes Jamel Shabbat. I think they're telling him 2 more or 1 more warm-up toss. And then we'll get going with the bottom of the 8th. It is just one more toss as the ball is thrown down to second by the catcher, Jamel Shabbat. And it'll be Ethan Murdoch, Balin Sorensen, and Cooper Westland up for the Berries in the bottom of the 8th inning. 6-5, Medicine Hat with the lead. Second last day of the Western Canadian Baseball League regular season. First pitch is outside and all the way back to the screen. Ball 1. Murdoch 0 for 3, 3 ground balls. Centella's pitch is outside, 2-0. Elsewhere today in the WCBL, one other game underway. It's in the bottom of the first inning, as there's a pitch in there for a strike. 2-1 now on Murdoch. Okotoks lead Sylvan Lake 3-2. Fort McMurray at Energy City were supposed to start at 1:35, but there were concerns about the condition of the diamond there today as to whether or not they'd be ready to go, as it's now 3-1 on Murdoch with the pitch outside. Lethbridge at Brooks, Moose Jaw at Swift Current both start at 4:05. And tonight, Weyburn at Regina. Foul back to the screen by Murdoch, and a full count here to lead off the 8th inning. Diego Centella, payoff pitch. Check swing, they peel, they don't give it. It is a walk to lead off. And Murdoch on first to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning, the tying run. Going into today's play in the East Division, the Berries were locked in first place. Medicine Hat locked in second. Regina will finish third, and Moose Jaw fourth. Saskatoon Moose Jaw in the playoffs, the first round. Medicine Hat Regina, the other series, starting on Wednesday here at Next Gen Patch and in the Hat. Balin Sorensen fouls the first pitch from Centella, up and out of play. Strike 1. The ball hit the light pole. Weyburn and Swift Current will not be in the playoffs. Okotoks will finish first in the West Division. Centella with a toss over to first to check on Murdoch. Ethan Murdoch does have a few stolen bases this year, 12 of them to be exact in 13 attempts. Pitch outside to Sorensen, 1-1 the count. Sylvan Lake has a 2.5 game lead on Lethbridge for second place. It looks like Lethbridge does have 3 games left, could catch them. Outside again, 2-1 the count on Sorensen. And then Brooks is a game and a half up on both Fort McMurray and Energy City for the 4th and final playoff spot. The one who gets that spot will play Okotoks as Sorensen fouls that back 2-2, while in all likelihood Lethbridge will be traveling to Sylvan Lake for game 1 of that series coming up on Wednesday. 2-2 the count on Balin Sorensen with Ethan Murdoch on first base here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 6-5 Medicine Hat with the lead. Sorensen fouls the pitch off over top of the first base bleachers. Count holds at 2-2. There is supposed to be a Tuesday game, if necessary, involving Lethbridge, but it may not be necessary if they lose and or Sylvan Lake wins. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Centella in his appearance through 1 inning of pitch of work. 1 away in the bottom of the 8th inning. Cooper Westland, the second baseman, coming up. Deegan Sanders continues to throw down the left field line for the Mavericks in their bullpen. Berries have a bunch of left-handed hitters coming up. Centella's first pitch to Cooper Westland is a strike. Westland walked and scored last inning. He's 0 for 2 today. Evan Janner, Carter Beck, Aby and Medina, 3 of the next 4 hitters are lefties. Westland puts a charge into this one, center field, but drifting back with plenty of room in medium depth center field to make the catch is Adam Volcano. And there's 2 away. So now it's Evan Janner's turn. Janner, the number 9 hitter in the Berries lineup. If he gets on, we'll be curious to see whether or not Diego Centella gets to face Carter Beck or not. First pitch to Janner up high, ball 1. Janner 0 for 3 today. Due for a hit. Murdoch dives back to the bag as he was jumping around at first base, bluffing as if he was going to go, and Centella threw over wide of the mark, so nowhere near being an out. Swing and a miss. 1-1 on a breaking ball. (6-5) Medicine Hat leads bottom of the 8th inning. 2 away for the Berries here. A runner on first base in Ethan Murdoch. Swing and a miss. Throw down to first. Catcher Shabbat throwing down to Nate King, but getting back safely is Ethan Murdoch. Janner behind 1 and 2 to Diego Centella. Murdoch going, pitch outside. No throwdown as the catcher Shabbat framing the ball for the home plate umpire who didn't budge on his call. 2-2 the count. And a runner on second now in scoring position. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Foul back onto the screen just above us. Count holds at 2-2. New Braunfels must be a suburb of Houston because on the Jumbotron it says hometown for Evan Janner is Houston. My Texas geography isn't that good, I apologize. Janner hits this one back through the middle. It gets through into center field, base hit. Turning third, coming home is Ethan Murdoch, and we have a tie ball game as the ball gets away from the catcher to the backstop, but Janner is into second base on the throw home, and we have a 6-6 tie. Big single in RBI for Evan Janner, his 24th RBI of the season. And here comes Carter Beck to the plate with a runner on second in Evan Janner. Beck's single drove in a run his last time up and scored back in the 7th inning. So now the drama increases here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field on the second last day of the regular season. Line drive, base hit into right field. Here comes around third base and in to score is Evan Janner, and the Berries have their first lead of the afternoon at 7-6. Berries have scored 2 runs in each of the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings to come from behind. As I mentioned, this game was tied up at 1-1 after 5 innings, but Medicine Hat scored 3 in the 6th to go up 4-1. The Berries countered with 2 to make it 4-3 in the bottom of the 6th. Top of the 7th, a couple of runs by Medicine Hat made it 6-3. Berries responded with 2 of their own to make it 6-5. And then the Berries got Medicine Hat out in the top of the 8th without allowing a run. Here's a throw down to first after a pitch outside, but back safely is Carter Beck as Jamel Shabbat almost had one get away from him on the first pitch down low and away to Corey Waters. And the Berries have scored 2 here in the bottom of the 8th to take the lead. Centella inside, 2-0 on Waters, who's 2 for 4. Couple of singles for Corey Waters. Fouls the 2-0 pitch back. That was high in the strike zone, right where Corey likes it, but he fouled it back to the screen. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cued off foul on a breaking ball towards the Berries' first base dugout. 2-2 the count. Centella. Beck goes. Waters hits it on the ground towards second base. Babiak up with it. Throw on to first in time, and that ends the inning, but not before the Saskatoon Berries score 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no Medicine Hat errors and 1 runner left on base. After 8 innings complete, it is the Saskatoon Berries 7 and the Medicine Hat Mavericks 6. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Top of the 9th inning. The Mavericks, who were either tied or ahead in this ball game for all but now, coming into the bottom of the 8th inning, have to try and come back against Tanner Hosick, who's the right man for the job. 1,886 is the announced attendance this afternoon here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. And the meat of the order for Medicine Hat coming up against Tanner Hosick. Tyler Van Nest is first man up, and a slider on the outside corner for a strike. Van Nest 2 for 4 with a couple of runs batted in. Then Carter Roth, then Adam Volcano. Down low and outside, 1-1. This will be a test for Hosick and the Berries as they try and close out their 45th win of the season. Van Nest hits this one foul, twisting over top of the boundary fence into the parking lot down the third base side. Hosick up 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll have to try and get some pictures today of the celebration, if there is one, for the 45th win of the year. 1-2 pitch outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Tyler Van Nest, the Medicine Hat DH. Tanner Hosick shaking off. Now he likes what he's gotten from catcher Balin Sorensen. Again, Van Nest spoils that, fouls it off onto the screen. Count holds 2-2. Hosick came on with 2 out and runners on first and second in the top of the 8th inning and induced Jamel Shabbat to ground into a fielder's choice. 2-2 pitch, and again Van Nest flicks the wrists and gets a piece of the ball. spoils. Count holds 2-2. Van Nest, an all-star in the WCBL. Hosick as well. 2-2 pitch. Hit in the air, center field. Carter Beck under it. He'll make the catch, and there's one away. Van Nest got under that one. A little bit too high in the air to be effective as far as getting out of the ballpark and or finding a gap. Now Carter Roth, who's been a problem today for the Berries to get out. Been on base all 4 times, 3 for 3 with a walk. He also has a run batted in today. Right-handed hitter, among the best in the league. Was hitting .364 coming into today. Line drive, and that's going to find grass in right field. Heading towards the corner, he'll turn first. Thought about heading for second. The first base coach was saying go, but good hustle by Ethan Murdoch to get to the ball just before the foul line and restricts him to a single. So the tying run for Medicine Hat is on first base with one away, and Adam Volcano coming up. Volcano is 0 for 3. Grounded into a couple of double plays, hit by a pitch, flew out to center field his last time up. First pitch from Hosick is upstairs, ball 1. One 0 pitch upcoming from Tanner Hosick. Down low, 2-0. This is Hosick's turn. Job to finish up. Nobody throwing in the bullpen. Down the right field line. Two 0 pitch upcoming. Popped up. Foul territory, wide of first base. Corey Waters is there to make the catch, and there's 2 away. So Medicine Hat down to their last out. And it'll be Blake Dale, the shortstop, coming up. Dale is 0 for 4 today. Came in on a 6-game hitting streak, the Medicine Hat shortstop. Fouls the first pitch back to the screen, strike 1. Carter Roth at first. Line drive, center field. Beck coming on. That'll fall in front of him. And a base hit. Roth comes up to second. So now the tying run is at second base. And Jaden Babiak, who has 3 hits in his last 3 turns at bat, coming to the plate. He is 3 for 4. First and second with 2 away here for Medicine Hat in the top of the 9th inning. Crowd of 1,886 wanting one more out before any more damage is done. Hosick's first pitch is a called strike. A victory, and the Berries win for the 45th time, which is a WCBL single-season record for victories. It would also avoid a 3rd straight loss, as Hosick wants catcher Balin Sorensen to run through the signs again, and now, as a result, Jaden Babiak calls timeout. The Medicine Hat batter steps out. He'll step back in. The back-to-back losses to Regina the last 2 days were firsts on the year. Down low to Babiak, 1-1 the count. Nate King is on deck, the first baseman, who started the day as the catcher for the Mavericks. Hosick, 1-1 pitch. Big deep breath, delivers. Babiak follows it back high onto the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mavericks down to their last strike. And public address announcer Simon Hyatt exhorting the crowd to get on their feet. Clap, bring this one on home. 1-2 the count on Jaden Babiak. Runners on first and second with 2 away. The 1-2 pitch, foul towards first base. Count holds at 1-2. Oh, you can cut the drama with a knife. Gotta love summer baseball. 1-2. Fans pounding on the stands with their feet, stomping away. Another 1-2 pitch upcoming. Outside, 2-2. Tanner Hosick trying to finish it off here. Berries with a 7-6 lead in the top of the 9th inning on the Medicine Hat Mavericks. 2-2 pitch, up high. Full count. 2 away, batted runners will be moving with the pitch. Top of the 9th inning. Let's see what happens here now. The 3-2 pitch. Line drive into the hole. It's short and through for a base hit. Here comes the tying run home. The throw home, but nowhere near in time. And Roth comes in to score. And it's tied up at 7-7. Blake Dale to second base. Jaden Babiak is on with a base hit and a huge RBI to tie the game up at 7. So now Nate King, the first baseman, coming up. King is 0 for 4. Flew out to right field his last 2 times up. First pitch to King is inside, ball 1. Ground ball to the opposite field. In the hole at shortstop, Nathan Houston couldn't get to it. And now the number 8 hitter, Nate King, at the plate. And looked at a couple of balls from Tanner Hosick. 7-7 the score. 3 singles creating the tying run here in the top of the 9th for the Mavericks. Why should this be easy for the Berries? Fouled off over top of the backstop towards the Bob Van Imp Softball Stadium, where the Canadian Women's Fast Pitch Softball Championships have been going on this weekend. Actually, for most of this past week, started on Wednesday. 2-1 count on Nate King. Breaking ball fouled off down the first base line. It'll be out of play. So the count is 2-2. That doesn't have quite the same drama now as did last batter with 2 strikes. 7-7. Berries still need to get Nate King out, get out of this top of the 9th, and see what they can do about winning it in the bottom of the 9th inning. Hosick's 2-2 pitch with 2 away. King, fly ball, center field. Beck is there. He'll make the catch. And that's it. But Medicine Hat ties it up in the top of the 9th inning. A run on 3 hits. No Berries errors. 2 runners left on base. After 8.5, it is Saskatoon 7, Medicine Hat 7. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW. And you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Let me see here. Yep, you're good. I'm good. I'm good. So we hit to the bottom of the ninth inning. Diego Centella still back out there at pitch for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Despite giving up the 2 runs to the Berries that put them ahead briefly in the bottom of the 8th inning. He'll face the heart of the order for the Berries here in the bottom of the 9th. T.H. Abiam Medina, third baseman Mason Rell, and shortstop Nathan Houston. Medina is 2 for 3 today, with a run scored and a couple of RBI. Centella from Panama City, and Medina from Ponce, Puerto Rico. Meanwhile, we've got action down both bullpens now, in case this game goes to extra innings, as the first pitch to Medina is up and inside, ball 1. Fastball in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Abiam Medina. Turner Zdunich, a left-hander, warming up down the right field line in the Berries bullpen. Once again, up again for Medicine Hat is Deegan Sanders down the left field line. Swing and a miss by Medina. He was trying to hit that one out of the ballpark. With 1 swing, get the victory. 1-2 the count. Centella's 1-2 pitch. Medina fouls it back, wastes that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball retrieved behind home plate. 1-2 pitch. Medina. Line drive caught at third by Carter Roth. Stung by Medina down the third base line, but Roth, 1 step to his right, spears the ball, and there's 1 away. Mason Rell now 0 for 4 today. He is due, to be sure. .320 hitter against Medicine Hat this season, but 0 for his last 12, and looking to break out of that. Breaking ball down low, ball 1. Diego Centella delivers. That's called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Rell. Nathan Houston, who had a 2-run homer in the 6th inning, is on deck for the Berries. 1-1 pitch is called strike 2. 1-2 on Mason Rell. Rell steps out, questions the pitch location with home plate umpire Matt Schul. Centella shaking off a pitch signal, now has what he wants. 1-2 pitch is down low, a breaking ball. 2-2. Bottom of the 9th inning, a 7-7 tie. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That is strikeout number 3 for Centella over 2 1/3 innings pitched. And now Nathan Houston, who struck out against Centella back in the 7th inning, comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3, but that 1 is a 2-run home run back in the 6th inning. Shows bunt and pops it back onto the screen, strike 1. Houston trying to lay down a surprise bunt to get on base and maybe get a 2-run rally or 2-out rally going. That element of surprise is gone. Pitch change up, stays up high and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, as I said, the first 5 innings of this game flew by in about an hour and 15 minutes. We're closing in on 3 hours now as Houston fouls that pitch back to the screen, 1-2. Two hours and 50 minutes to be exact. 1-2 the count on Nathan Houston. Centella's pitch. Houston, slow roller towards third. Roth picks, throws to first in time, and that's a 1-2-3 bottom of the 9th inning, and we're heading for extra innings here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Bonus baseball today, as it's no runs, no hits, no errors by Medicine Hat, nobody left on base. After 9, Medicine Hat 7, Saskatoon 7. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. So we go to the top of the 10th inning in a 7-7 tie, and the 5th pitcher of the ball game for the Saskatoon Berries will be Turner Zdunich, making his 7th appearance of the year, 6th from out of the bullpen. No record, a 7.04 earned run average. Turner Zdunich is a utility guy who's also played some first base, left field, his DH some. He's pitched 7 2/3 innings this year, allowed 6 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them earned, struck out 4 and walked 9. Zdunich, 6'2", 190-pound lefty from High River, Alberta, coming off his freshman year at Colby Community College. His last pitching appearance was back on July 16th in Okotoks. We threw 2/3 of an inning in a 9-5 Berries loss to the Dogs. And this will be the first time he's faced Medicine Hat this year. Courtesy runner on second base to start. Zdunich's first pitch, a curveball strike to Micah Dvorak. Nate King is the runner at second to start the 10th inning. Corner infielders are in at the grass. Hard shot hit through Waters into right field. Turning third and coming home to score is Nate King with the go-ahead run. Medicine Hat goes up 8-7 on the hard hit single by Micah Dvorak. Yeah. So Dvorak with an RBI single puts Medicine Hat back out in front 8-7. Again, you start in extra innings with the last out of the previous inning goes on second base as a courtesy runner. It'll be the same thing for the Berries. As the first pitch from Zdunich to Aaron Volcano, the leadoff man, is down in the dirt and blocked by Balin Sorensen, the catcher. Ball 1. Volcano 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and a walk. Outside 2-0. Barry's in the bottom of the 10th inning. We'll have Ethan Murdoch, Balin Sorensen, and Cooper Westland come to the plate with Nathan Houston, the courtesy runner, at second. Volcano hits one in the air to right field, slicing towards the foul line. Caught by Evan Janner. Good long run for him to get there, but he got there, makes the catch. And Dvorak holds at first base, one away. Jamel Shabbat now, the catcher, coming up. 0 for 3. Hit by a pitch and scored a run back in the 6th inning. Right-hand hitter against the left-handed pitching Turner Zdunic. 5th Barry's pitcher of the game. Fouled up the third baseline. Strike 1. Top of the 10th inning. 8-7. Medicine Hat with the lead. Pitch in the dirt. Gets away. Sorensen picks it up, throws to second, and it hits the runner, who slides safely into second base. So he's in at second off of the wild pitch. Micah Dvorak. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count on Shabbat. Zdunic pitches up high, 2-1. Tyler Van Ness, the DH, is on deck for the Mavericks. Line drive, base hit into center field. This will be just station to station as Beck with the ball guns it in to Corey Waters, the cutoff man at the pitching mound. Shabbat is on with a single. Dvorak over to third, first and third with 1 out. And Van Ness, who is 2 for 5 today with a couple of runs batted in. Left-handed pitching Zdunic to the left-hand hitting Van Ness. Swing and a miss on a breaking pitch, strike 1. Infielders were playing about halfway. Now they'll come and play in at the edge of the infield grass. Another breaking ball strike on Van Ness, strike 2. 0-2 the count. Carter Roth, the third baseman, is on deck. And he has been nothing but trouble at the plate today. 2-strike curveball bounced in. Sorensen a good job to block. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Zdunic. 1 ball, 2-strike pitch upcoming to Tyler Van Ness, who's from Warman. Line drive shot, and Westland can't flag it down. That's into right field, a base hit. Another run scores. Dvorak in from third. Another base hit for Van Ness. Another RBI, his third of the game. And it's 9-7 for Medicine Hat as Shabbat up to second base. So now Carter Roth, whom the Berries have not gotten out today. He's 4 for 4 with a walk, a couple of runs scored. He scored the tying run, in fact, back in the 9th inning. 1 away here in the top of the 10th. Breaking ball upstairs, ball 1. Berries were a strike away from winning this ball game in the top of the 9th when Jaden Babiak sent a hit down between short and third into left field. Brought home Roth. He has a 2-0 count now in his favor against Zdunic. with one away. Runners at first and second. Breaking ball in for a strike, 2-1. Roth looking for velocity that he can drive. Zdunic looking for his signs from Balin Sorensen. 2-1 pitch. Down low, blocked by Sorensen, 3-1. Adam Volcano, the center fielder, is on deck. Three and one the count on Carter Roth here in the top of the 10th inning. Zadunic's pitch, Roth got around on it and fouled it wide of third base. A full count. Payoff pitch upcoming from Zdunic to Roth. Little looper. This one is going to fall into right field. Westland bare hands it, and everybody will move up 90 feet. The bases are loaded now as Shabbat to third, Van Ness to second, and Roth is 5 for 5. Adam Volcano now the batter. He is 0 for 4 and been hit by a pitch. There's a play anywhere to get a force out. Home would be the first place to go. Curve ball for a ball. Down low to Volcano. On the ground to third. Rel fields, throws home for one. The throw back to first will hit the hitter in the runner in the head, and that will allow another run to score as Corey Waters retrieves the ball over by the Saskatoon dugout. Joe Carnahan was looking over to see if maybe the runner was running inside the baseline towards first base, and thus would be interference, but the throw by Sorensen was veering away. Ball hit Volcano in the back of the helmet, he's indicating to everybody. Shabbat was thrown out at home plate by Rel, and then they tried to get the double play at first base, but off the helmet, Van Ness scores on the throwing error. Roth around to third, and Volcano at second, a fielder's choice and an error to the catcher. The first pitch from Zdunic to Blake Dale is up high for a ball. 3 runs in here for, make that 4 runs in here for, or 3 runs in here for Medicine Hat in the top of the 10th inning. Make it 10-7. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 on Blake Dale, who kept the rally alive in the 9th inning with a 2-out single, setting the stage for Jaden Babiuk's tying hit. And now the Mavericks are turning it on here in the top of the 10th. Swing and a miss, strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Berries have a big hole to climb out of here when they get to bat in the bottom of the 10th inning. They're still not out of this. Strike 3 called on a curveball. Zdunic gets Dale looking, but Medicine Hat scores 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 Berry's error, and 2 runners left on base. After 9.5, we head to the bottom of the 10th inning. It is Medicine Hat 10, Saskatoon 7. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. New pitcher. Hmm? What? I haven't yet. Just hang on. Yep.
Thanks.
Hmm.
I'm actually doing it.
You are.
I'm not screwing up.
Nope. You're doing good.
Oh, I don't like that score. Gotta change this.
So bottom of the 10th inning, and Medicine Hat will put in a new pitcher. It'll be Deegan Sanders coming in. He's a relative newcomer to this team, making just his third appearance. No decisions, a 9.00 earned run average. He's pitched 2 innings in his 2 appearances, allowed 3 hits, 2 runs both earned, struck out 2, and walked 3. Deegan Sanders, a left-hander from Granite, Oklahoma, coming off a red shirt freshman year at Mid-America Christian. He's a left-handed pitcher. Sanders only 2 appearances. Coming back on the 26th of July in Swift Current, part of the 24-4 win. Those are the 2 innings he pitched. In a 17-6 win over Moose Jaw on July 23rd, he faced 3 batters, walked 1, gave up 2 hits and 2 runs. Nathan Houston will start the bottom of the 10th inning as the courtesy runner on second base for the Berries. Ethan Murdoch, Balin Sorensen, and Cooper Westland coming up here in the bottom of the 10th. The Berries need a big-time rally. Down 3. Murdoch 0 for 3, walked in the 8th, stole a base and scored. Berries with 8 hits here today. Medicine Hat has had 19 hits. First pitch to Murdoch on the inside corner for a strike, a breaking ball. Deegan Sanders at the belt. 1 strike pitch. Murdoch hammers this one to left field, and it is up, up, and away! A home run for Ethan Murdoch, and it's a 1-run ball game at 10-9. Murdoch with his 10th home run of the year, and RBIs 52 and 53. And Balin Sorensen coming up now. A 2-run home run for Ethan Murdoch on the second pitch he faces from Deegan Sanders. Sanders now to face Sorensen. And the first pitch outside, ball 1. Sorensen 0 for 4 today. Up high, 2-0. This is Sanders' inning from the looks of it. Nobody warming up down the left field line for Medicine Hat. I'm sure they don't want to use up any more arms than they have to. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike on the Berries catcher, Balin Sorensen. Sanders took something off of that. 2-1 pitch. Sorensen holds up, and they'll call a strike on the appeal at first base. Tried to check his swing and went too far. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the Berries catcher as Sanderson pulled the string on a breaking ball changeup type of pitch. 2-2. Breaking pitch down low, full count. Cooper Westland on deck, then Evan Janner, and then Carter Beck if it gets that far. And if it does, Berries would be in position to possibly tie and maybe even win. But they need to get runners on base. again. 3-2 pitch. Down low, ball 4. Sorensen is on. The tying run on first base. And Jalen Freeman is going to run for him. Get the speed of Jalen Freeman out on the base paths. A base stealing threat. Cooper Westland, who's 0 for 3 today, walked and scored in the 7th inning. Do you bunt in this situation? Try and get Freeman into second. Roth thinks that, comes to the edge of the grass. Westland shows bunt, drops it down. Roth picks it up, throws to first in time. But Freeman is over to second base on the sacrifice. That's the first out. So now 2 chances to bring him in from second. First shot goes to Evan Janner, who singled and drove in Ethan Murdoch with a run in the 8th inning that tied the game up at 6-6. Now here in the bottom of the 10th, it's 10-9 for Medicine Hat. And the Berries are trying to claw back to a tie again. Left-handed pitching Sanders to left-handed hitting Janner. First pitch breaking ball outside, ball 1. Deegan Sanders peers in for the signal from catcher Jalen Shabbat. Jalen Freeman of the Berries on second base. Again outside and low, ball 2. Past the 3-hour mark today. Wind starting to gust up again out of the east-southeast at 34 kilometers per hour. 28 degrees Celsius. It's a gorgeous day, so why not be around for extra baseball and a little more drama? On the outside corner for a strike on the 2-0 pitch to Janner, 2-1. In all likelihood, Carter Beck is going to get a chance to bat here. With 1 away, he is on deck. 2-1 pitch. Janner swings and misses, strike 2. 2-2 the count. Janner 1 for 4 today. Again, Deegan Sanders peering in for a sign. The 2-2 pitch is outside and a full count. Carter Beck waiting his turn. A payoff pitch upcoming from Sanders to Janner. It's up high, ball 4. And now the winning run is on first base. Tying run at second in the person of Jalen Freeman. Evan Janner, the go-ahead run, winning run on first base, and Carter Beck coming up. And now there's going to be a meeting at the mound because, well, this is arguably the Berries' best hitter. It's a debate at the best of times between Beck and Ethan Menard, but Menard's not in the lineup again today. So Beck is the guy, and he's at the plate. And it's Sanders who's tasked with trying to hold on to this because there's nobody warming up down the left field line. No need to use up any more arms in the mind of Jonathan Thornhill, the head coach of the Medicine Hat Mavericks. It's live or die today with Deegan Sanders. The discussion is over. Everybody back in place. How do you pitch to Carter Beck? Carefully would be the way to look at it. Beck 2 for 3 today. Couple of walks, couple of runs scored. 2 RBI as well. First pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. Just 1 out. Corey Waters is on deck. A right-handed hitter against the lefty pitching Sanders with power. Beck flaring this one into center. It is going to drop. It's in there. Freeman will hold at third as the ball is sent back into the infield. Bases loaded, one away, and Corey Waters coming to bat. Winning run in Evan Janner is at second base. Tying run at third. Bottom half of the 10th inning. 2 runs in on a 2-run homer from Ethan Murdoch. And now Corey Waters with a chance to play hero in his hometown. Yeah, they've got first place clinched. But they want that record, 45 wins. And they have that shot. First pitch to Waters, outside, ball 1. Freeman, the runner at third. Janner at second. Beck on first base. First baseman King plays on the edge of the grass. On the outside corner, a strike with a breaking ball from Sanders to Waters, 1-1. Corey Waters 2 for 5 today. Couple of singles. Barry's got the speed they want on the base paths in all 3 guys. Up high, 2-1 the count. If need be, Abiam Medina is on deck. Sanders glares in for the sign from Jalen Shabbat. 2-1 pitch. Hit in the air, left field, going back to Dvorak. He'll make the catch. Freeman tags. He'll score. Here comes Janner diving into third base. Beck to second. We're tied up at 10-10 with 2 out. Sacrifice fly to left for Corey Waters. 10-10 the score, 2 away here in the bottom of the 10th inning, and Abiam Medina coming to bat. And now they're intentionally walking Medina to pitch to Mason Rell. Again, set up a force at all bases. And Rell, who's 0 for 5 today, has a chance to be the hero now. We either get a win here for the Berries in the bottom of the 10th, or we head to the top of the 11th inning. And more free baseball. But the crowd of 1,886 hoping it gets over here right about now. Deegan Sanders, first pitch to Rell, is a called strike. Nathan Houston is on deck, but he likely won't get a chance to bat, at least not this inning. It's either a third out or it's a game over situation. Rell hammers this one to left field, and it is over and out. Home run, grand slam. Berries win. The record is theirs. Win number 45 of the season on a grand slam homer in the bottom of the 10th inning by Mason Rell. And the Berries defeat the Medicine Hat Mavericks by a score of 14-10. There's a massive pileup at home plate celebrating the grand slam home run of Mason Rell. The Berries score 7 runs in the bottom of the 10th inning, including 2 home runs. On the inning, they had 7 runs on 3 hits. There were no Medicine Hat errors and nobody left on base. 45 wins on the season for the Saskatoon Berries, 45-9 on the year. The record is Saskatoon's with one game left to go, and that'll be tomorrow afternoon. The final totals coming your way next from Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. A Trucker Special, over and out. A Grand Slam home run, a walk-off Grand Slam by Mason Rell. His second time this week he has a walk-off hit, and the Berries win 14-10 over Medicine Hat in 10 innings. Again, the final wrap-up coming your way next from Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. We're back here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Great ball game, great drama, as this seesaw affair between the top two teams in the East Division of the Western Canadian Baseball League goes 10 innings with all kinds of back and forth. Medicine Hat led for most of the game. The Berries clawed back, actually took a lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. Medicine Hat tied it up in the top of the 9th, scored 3 in the top of the 10th to look like they were going to win this one. But then the Berries score 7 times in the bottom of the 10th, 2 home runs, one by Ethan Murdoch with the first batter faced with the courtesy runner on second to get them to within 1, and then they got another run in on a sacrifice fly by Corey Waters, loaded the bases up, and Mason Rell with the Grand Slam home run to give the Berries the 14-10 victory here this afternoon. Let's take a look at the final totals for the Saskatoon Berries. 14 runs on 11 hits. They committed 3 errors. They left 7 runners on base. For the Medicine Hat Mavericks, 10 runs on 19 hits. They didn't commit an error. They left 12 runners on base. The winning pitcher is Turner Zadunich in relief. He gave up 3 runs in the top of the 10th inning, but he was the pitcher of record at the end of the night. His first win as a pitcher for the Saskatoon Berries. And the losing pitcher is Deegan Sanders, who came on in the bottom of the 10th and surrendered all 7 runs, earned his record 0-1. Again, 1,886 the attendance today. A game that took 3 hours and 20 minutes to play. Saskatoon over Medicine Hat 14-10. And again, the Berries with their 45th win of the year, a 45-9 record, a WCBL single season record for wins with 45. They snap a 2-game losing streak. The only time they've lost 2 in a row all season long, and that's the only time it'll happen. The Berries are 24-3 here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field and have won 5 of 6 head-to-head meetings with Medicine Hat, whose record drops to 34-20. They've now lost 3 in a row. They're 14-13 on the road. 14-10 in 10 innings, Saskatoon over Medicine Hat. So what will they do for an encore tomorrow? They play again tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, and we'll be back with you on FloCollege. Thanks to all the folks tuning in today on CJWW Radio, 600 AM in Saskatchewan. Hope you enjoyed the ball game. But But for now, on behalf of all the folks at CJWW, Kendra Helm is our producer back at the studio in CJWW. Thanks for your work, Kendra. Also, all the gang at Flow Sports, FloCollege, and all the gang here with the Saskatoon Berries. I'm Les Lazaruk. Hope you enjoyed this one. It was an epic battle, with the Berries finally winning it 14-10 in 10 innings over the Medicine Hat Mavericks. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 12:55 on FloCollege for the final game of the regular season, again between these two teams. It's a 1 o'clock start time. We'll be on with you at 12:55 with the webcast. Once again, you have been listening to the Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you've been watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege.